Hello my friends, Katie here with Eastwick's Paper and Ink, and today I am participating in a Case the Creator video hop and blog hop that is been put together by a Facebook group that I'm a part of. And there was a list of crafters that we could go through and select who we wanted to case. And case, just in case you're not familiar, is copy and share everything. And so I'm going to be casing Amanda Stevens over at Pear Blossom Press. And a lot of people may know her because she does a lot of light up cards. She's got all kinds of cool stuff over on her site. I'm like everything up down below, all her social media, the video that I'm copying. And one of the things about Casing the Creator is taking inspiration. So one of her projects actually has nothing to do with the light up card. It was a gift box set, and I thought I would use some of the supplies that I have, because she's used Rabbit Hole Designs product and I don't have any of that. So I thought I'd use some of the stuff that I have and create this little gift box set. And as you can see, I'm going through some of the products I'm going to be using. So that cardstock there is from Gina K. That's also soft stone. And you saw the stamp set that I'm going to be using. So I'm just going to go through and score my cardstock. The stamp set that I'm using is from Simon Says Stamp. It's the Beautiful Flowers. I'm going to be doing some foiling, some glimmer foiling for my sentiment. And one of the things that drew me to this was the simplicity of it. And it's a one layer. Easy to replicate with any stamp set that you have. That's one of the reasons that I wanted to show using some of the supplies that I have and not necessarily completely copying what she did. And so I'm using a pretty popular stamp set, the Beautiful Flowers, because in her video she did some masking, and I hate to fussy cut. In fact, I just unpacked my brother's Scan and Cut, which I'll probably do more masking now that I don't have to cut it out, which will be a godsend. But I love foiling. I love the shimmer. It's like heat embossing. I just love the effect that you get. And so I thought I would do a tone-on-tone stamp, which is what she did in her video. She used pink cardstock and pink oxide ink, I think. It was the oxide ink. And she also did this in gray on a blog post, this little gift set, and she did it in gray. And I absolutely love Gina K's soft stone ink and cardstock. I just think it's a really, really pretty gray. And I'm going to be using red glimmer foil. And I love the red and gray. I love pinks and grays. So you could use pink and gray, red and gray. So there's all kinds of little color combinations you can use together with this type of stamping. And so I'm just going through and I've lined up my stamp set to know where I want to put my sentiments, and I'm just going through and trimming up the foil. And the other thing that prompted me was I had filmed this just before Mother's Day. When this is going to post, it's obviously going to be past Mother's Day. And I thought that this, it's a perfect little gift set to give to your moms, to grandmothers, to friends, as a Mother's Day gift. So especially with, what's happening in the world, it's, some people aren't crafty, but they still want to be able to give something a little bit more special in a card than going to the grocery store and picking up a card. So it's a perfect little gift set to give, especially right now, but to mothers and grandmothers and aunts and things like that. So I thought it was absolutely appropriate. So I'm going through and I'm going to glimmer, and I have a Big Shot, so that's what I use. I have that off to the side, off to my right, off camera. I can't fit everything into camera. So I use shims for my big shot. So if you have a big shot and you have the Glimmer Hot Foil system and you wonder how it works, I do have a video with a review. It's a pretty lengthy review, but I talk quite a bit in the beginning, the first half of it, and then the second half I show it in action if you want to check that out. But if you want to see the big shot being used with the platform. But I use at least 2 shims. As I use my shims, the paper flattens out more and more, so I end up maybe tossing in a 3rd shim. And it does depend on the foil. You know, the foil, in fact, you're going to see that I had great success with when I tested this out. I wanted to make sure the colors that I was going to use and that kind of stuff. I had really good success. But when I did it here on camera, the foiling on a couple of them wasn't fantastic. Still usable, but wasn't fantastic. And so your foil can make a difference. Your cardstock can make a difference. I found that Gina K's white layering, ivory layering, the Simon Says stamp, 120 pound, because it's got a really super slick surface, works really good with hot foiling. And I've got some I picked up at Walmart a couple years ago that was a multi-pack of just 65 pound cover variety pack cardstock, and that is super smooth as well, and that works really good. But to be honest, I have hit or miss on like the Nina Solar White, and there's some cardstocks, and I go through that in that review video, which I'll link up here. And but I've had some hit and misses with that. So with certain cardstock. So unfortunately, you just got to play with it and test things out. And even sometimes when things work, they don't always work. Like here, I think this is the one. Yeah, you can see on the bottom half of that wording that it didn't come out fantastic, but it's still okay. It's still usable. The Thanks a Bunch again wasn't great. Now, I let these all cool pretty well before I peeled off, and I don't usually do that, so that could have been my mistake there. But foiling is trial and error, but I absolutely love the results when it comes through. And this I'm going to make a gift tag out of. So especially for you, is going to be a little gift tag that's going to go on the outside of my box. Now, I'm going to link everything up below in the description box. All the products used, Amanda's website, her blog, her video, YouTube channel, and the video specifically that I am casing. So that you'll be able to find everything and see, if you want to do something like this. Now, one of the things she used in her site, in her video, was a website called Owl something. I'll link it up below. But I've used that as well to create boxed envelopes. If you have your envelope punch board, you could do the same, but this allows you to take any measurements. So, if you wanted to do a dozen cards, right now I'm just doing 4 just to keep it simple and not having a, hour-long video, because I think you get the point that you can duplicate these pretty easily. But if you wanted to do like a dozen or 24, or, something like that, you can just take the measurement of the width and everything, and the website goes through and walks you right through everything, and it works beautifully, so that you can make your own boxed envelope. Now, I had some clear boxes that I'll show you as we get to that I picked up from Gina K, and they're perfect for a gift package like this, for a set of note cards. And it's clear, so you'll be able to get to see, right on the outside what it is in the box. And again, I've only done 4 of these, but I would say you could fit at least, I would say, a dozen, because cards you can squish down and you can fit more in. And it's a nice sturdy plastic box. It's really, really nice display box, for a gift package. So as you can see, I'm just going through and I'm taking my soft stone ink and I think on that last one I messed up, and I think I left it in. I don't think I took it out because I went through and I scored all my cardstock, as you saw, and then I went through and I foiled everything, and when I went and did the first stamping on the inside of the card panel, I messed up. I didn't fold it over to make sure that I had it on the right side of the inside panel, and it was wrong. So easy enough fix. I can trim that off. In fact, here it is. I show you. So just a note, you see on the other side there, I might show it a little bit more later on. Now I'm just doing some envelopes, but that card that I messed up on, I can just cut that panel off, give it a little trim down with some of my A2 waffle flower layering dies, and then I can put that on either another, in fact, I could probably layer it up on another gray cardstock without trimming anything down, or I can pop it up on a piece of, white cardstock or something like that. So that piece won't go to waste. And it can go right into this package. In fact, if you have other cards that you've made, you want to make this set and you want to throw in some other cards that you've made, you certainly can do that. I have some cards that I've made that are laying around that would be perfect to go into a little gift set. Unless you want to keep everything cohesive, then of course you can make as many of these as you wanted to put together as a gift set. And here, like I said, I'm just going through and I'm stamping the envelopes, the outside of the envelopes. There's a matching envelope to go along with it. This is Gina K Soft Stone envelopes as well. So everything kind of goes together. And that's the little box you just saw me put down there. And I'm just rounding my corners with my corner chomper for that gift tag. And I just took one of my layering dies from Waffle Flower. I love that A2 set. That is a staple, I'll tell you what. And, I just punched a hole in it, rounded the corners, shaped it, put the die where I wanted it to frame up some of those flowers. And I think it's a pretty nice gift tag. And that's another little tip. If you're ever struggling with what color combinations to use or how something might look, make a little gift tag and stamp and put your stamp on there that you want, put your sentiments or whatever. And I find that if I'm struggling with what I might want to do and how it might look, that I do that, because then I don't feel like I'm wasting a whole sheet of cardstock making a card. See there, you see I show you the inside that I messed up. But that's okay, because it's still usable. Nobody's going to see the back side of the card when you trim it up and put it on another card base. And you can see that jute twine there that I thought about using that. I go through, I may have cut it out too to start using it, but I remembered that I had a nice piece of dark gray ribbon, and I used that to tie everything together. But that's going to wrap it up, guys. Super simple, very easy one-layer cards. If you don't have the hot foiling system, you could do the same thing with some like Delicata inks or embossing powder. Because it was one layer and, embossing tends to warp cardstocks, I didn't want to do any heat embossing, but you certainly could. And but of course you have the option to use some like metallic inks and stuff like that, or your oxide inks and stuff, and still get a nice, beautiful result. I mean, really, you're just changing out the material of what you'd use to create that sentiment. Instead of foil, use some heat embossing, use some ink, and this is where I go and I switch over to that really pretty gray ribbon. But that's going to do it for me today, guys. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. Don't forget, check out Amanda. If you're not familiar with her, I'm sure a lot of people are. She's got a lot of followers, and she does some fantastic stuff. And she's involved in quite a few design teams. So you're probably very familiar with Amanda Stevens over at Pear Blossom Press. But if you're not, check her out, because she's got some fantastic stuff going on over on her website and her blog. And again, thanks so much for joining me today. Welcome to all my new subscribers. Thank you to all my regular subscribers who've been here for a little while. I really, really appreciate you guys, and I hope you guys are staying safe out there. And Thanks so much again for joining me today. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you in the next video.